Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schultze. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to share with you my technique and recipe for preparing chicken ballotine. Ballotine is a very old school classic French dish. It consists of taking a protein, meat, poultry, or fish, deboning it, making a force meat, putting it back together, and then either poaching or roasting it and serving it. The ballotine is served hot, not to be confused with chicken galantine, which is served cold. The galantine will be prepared the exact same way or very similarly, but it is just chilled and served cold. You would find it on platters, had things like pate on there, torchons, terrines, things like that, and this would be part of that where they would slice them and display them. Such beautiful, craftsmanship on this, and it's a shame that the times have changed and you don't really see this that much anymore, especially in America anyway. So join me now as I show you this amazing and lost art of ballotine. Well, to begin, let's take our bird and let us remove our wing. We're going to take it off at that joint there. We're going to take off the flat. All you need to do is take your knife and just gently slice between the joint. Again, right here, like so. So now we're going to flip the bird over to the bottom side, which is the breast side down. And you feel your your bones there, your back of the bird. So we're going to take our knife again and cut right down the center. Then let's take your fingers and go ahead and gently pull back the skin off the bird. Being careful not to rip it apart. You don't want to break the skin. We want to leave it all in one piece. And there you go. So we're going to set this off to the side for now. The next thing I like to do, now this part's optional. If you like, you can remove the wishbone. To do so, it's down here. You would take where the breasts come together at the breastbone here, from the top, feel a little cut where that bone is and just kind of work your way down on it. Then with your fingers, you reach in, there it is, grabbing it at the top where it connects to the breastbone, kind of pull out, and then gently pull it up. There's your breastbone. Is it necessary to do that? No, but the reason I do it is because the bone's out of the way, I will now be able to take out a little more meat. So now, what we will do is let's go ahead and remove our breast from the bone, or from the cavity. Let's go right down the middle of the breastbone there. Side. Using the tip of the knife. Let's go ahead and gently follow the bone a little. So now what you have is what you call an airline chicken breast. And because the wishbone was taken out, we did a nice job and we have our tenderloin here. So let's go ahead and remove our tenderloin. And then trim this little fat off of the airline. But we will not need that, so just kind of make your cut around. Go ahead and remove the drumstick off the wing bone. And the breast, let's go ahead and just set off to the side. And again, do the same thing with the other side of the bird. Now to the leg and thigh. So what we'll do is we'll flip up our bird, or the carcass, take your leg and thigh, Put your thumbs, as you open the legs like this, you can feel where the joint is, your thumbs at the bottom part of the carcass. Go ahead and just flip it up. You're kind of breaking them. So then what you do, take your knife, come around, follow that end of the carcass there where the bone is, and then take your cut down and around. That's the oyster meat. There's a little bit of meat that's hidden in there, and you don't want, like I said, you don't want to waste the meat. So now let's separate the thigh from the leg. Take off this little bit of fat here. If you take the leg and thigh this way, you see this little piece of fat that runs this way? That's a good gauge as to where the joint is. So where that seam of fat is, just cut through. And there you have your leg and thigh. Next, we're gonna take the meat off. I would just take the tip of the knife and go ahead and pull it down the bone and gently scrape away the meat. So now, taking your knife, using the sharp edge of the blade facing up, drag it down. Don't go this way, you're just gonna dull your knife and potentially cut yourself. So you just scrape back, scrape down like so. Pulling it away. There you go. Now to begin some additions to our mousseline, let's go ahead and get a dry pan preheated over medium-high heat. And let's go ahead and start rendering our bacon lardons. Well, now that the bacon has turned a little bit brown and slightly crispened, I drained the fat off of it. I'm gonna go ahead and add our shallots and dry white wine. We will cook this until it is au sec, which means almost dry. Here we are. This is what au sec is. Just means it's almost dry. All that wine has cooked off. Now we're gonna remove it from the heat, set it off the side to cool down, because this is gonna go in the mousseline. Well, here we are, we have our chicken breast, plastic on the bottom, plastic on top. And we're gonna go ahead and gently pound this out till they're about 1/4 inch or so wide. And we're gonna try to square them off to best match our chicken skin. Well, there you have it. Everything essentially just needs to be the same thickness. And once you've done that, we've not damaged it. We're gonna now set these off to the side. Now to make our mousseline, let's go ahead and put our chicken into the food processor. I have the dark meat, most of the dark meat I have in here. I reserved a little bit. I reserved 1 thigh amount, and I chopped it in little smaller pieces. And the reason I do that is because it's going to give the mousseline a little characteristic when you see that. I now want to add my egg. Let's go ahead and season with some salt. And some white pepper. Now, let's go ahead and process. So what I did was just process enough to get everything together. Now I'm gonna add my heavy cream. And we're gonna process it now until you have a very smooth mousseline. All right, so there we are. We're looking for a nice, smooth, no lumps mousseline. Now at this time, let's go ahead and take it out of this bowl and transfer it to a stainless bowl. So now let's mix our mousseline ingredients together. So we have our base right there. We're gonna go ahead and add our shallots with the bacon. Let's go ahead and add that little bit of chicken thigh that I mentioned, that I chopped into little pieces. Let's add our dried cherries, Marcona almonds, and add some of our herbs. I have parsley and chervil mixed together. So let's go ahead and fold everything together till it's evenly mixed. Well, now that we have our mousseline mixed, let's go ahead and transfer it to a pastry bag. Here's something I normally do not do, but I was inspired by my chef instructor back in school, mentor, Chef Scott Schmucker. He has a little leftover herbs. Go ahead and roll your tenderloins in it. So now let's go ahead and set this off to the side. Now assembly. We have our skin laying outside facing down. That way when we roll it and assemble, the outside of the skin is facing out. We have a single sheet of plastic wrap laying down. And we have our skin as much as a square or rectangle as we can get. So now let's go ahead and take one of our breasts and lay this in there. Kind of square it up the best you can with it. And we're going to allow a little bit of space on the edge here and the other edge. What will happen is as this overlaps when we're rolling it, the skin will make connection, and it's going, as it cooks, it'll bind together, the proteins will. So let's go ahead and add this in there to that little piece to square everything off nicer. And working in the center, let's go ahead and pipe a nice even line of it. Do another one right next to it. So now that's in there. So let's take our herb crusted tenderloin. We're going to send that in there. And let's take the other one and overlap it. Push down there a little bit. Let's go ahead and add some more mousse to the top. Backwards again. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our skin and our plastic and we're going to start rolling it over a little. Grab it this way and kind of pull it together, and we can pull that off. Now take it the other way and roll it back. Roll it up. Now you got yourself a cylinder there. So now that you have the plastic wrapped around the ballotine, let's go ahead and put in the aluminum foil. This is where you're going to be able to get your tension on it and making it really nice, the shape. So we'll roll it up nice and tight, and then just go put your hands at the ends like handlebars and just go ahead and twist it. As you twist it, the tension on it will get tighter, and as you can see, it's getting firmer, and it's also making a nicer cylinder, nicer shape to it. I love it. We are ready to put it into the water bath. Well, our water bath is up to a nice simmer. You don't want a roaring boil for it. I like to keep it around 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's go ahead and place it in there. And what I recommend doing is taking either a wire rack, or if you have a perforated pan like I do, lay that on top. What's going to happen is that's going to enable that to stay completely submerged so it cooks on all sides of the ballotine. And even cooking is important. You don't want half of it cooked and the other half not. So we're going to leave this in here for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. 165 degrees Fahrenheit is our target internal temperature. Well, now that the hour is up, we're going to go ahead and move this into a ice water bath. We want to stop the cooking process as fast as possible. Well, now our ballotine has been sitting for about 20 minutes. Let's go ahead and remove the packaging. Because we are serving ballotine, we're going to serve this warm. So now what we're going to want to do is just remove this from the packaging. I want to take a towel, paper towel, and I'm going to dry off the excess liquid. Now that the pan has been heating, I'm gonna add a touch of oil. And let's go ahead and set in our ballotine. We don't want to blast it. We want to sear it nice and soft and gentle. Develop a nice golden brown color. And then we're going to finish it in the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, until we reach an internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit. Well, here we are, fresh from the oven. Let's transfer it from the pan to a cutting board. And we're going to allow this to rest for 10 to 15 minutes before slicing. Well, now we are ready to slice. The waiting was the hardest part, let me tell you. So when you slice it, take a little chunk off the end. Because when you're displaying it, I always like to use that end as a piece, and I'll lay it like this and shingle the rest from it. And there you have it with our cherries and everything. And just go ahead and slice it about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch thick. And you see what I mean about having the chicken thighs in there, how I cut it and kind of chopped it up, and it got that shredded look to it. I think it makes it look, gives it a nice character to it. It looks really nice rather than just a perfectly smooth filling, you know. Nothing wrong with perfectly smooth too, if that's, you know, what your goal is, to show that, hey, look how good I made this mousseline. That's perfectly fine. But I like to see little texture to it and little character. Makes it look a little more rustic, I guess. Well, there you have chicken ballotine. I absolutely love this dish, and in most of my holidays, I've actually been serving the turkey or the duck in this fashion. Even if I do not take out the entire, take the skin completely off, what I can do is kind of spatchcock the bird, maybe take the leg and thigh off and just only keep the breast with the skin on, and then make the mousse from that, put it in there and tie everything together. I really love this dish because you don't see it anymore. It's rare to see it, and it's so much so that it influenced me, and I was so happy about it that I opened a restaurant for someone back in 2021, and I actually put it, that was our chicken dish, on the menu. I will, at the end of the video, I will show you a picture of it, the presentation, and I will show you some other presentations and variations that I've done in this. Maybe inspire you to do the same, or to give you some other ideas on a way to, you know, put the combination together. Serving this hot or cold does not matter. That's the only difference between the ballotine and galantine. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's demonstration. I'd love for you to give it a shot. Or if you do it before or do it a different way, send a message and saying on how you prepare yours. What combinations? Do you use dry fruit? Do you not use dry fruit? Are you adding shallots and wine or not? Do you use ham or bacon or duck confit? You know? Well, thanks for joining. You enjoy it.